We're live, are we? It's my birthday today, Debbie.
No, we're actually not live
Because
we were sticking around too much with the Zoom. But anyway, good morning to London.
Good morning to Ireland. Where are you? In Dublin, you are, aren't you?
I'm in Dublin. I'm only down the road from Raheny, where your wife's friend lives. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, little Sarah. You're in Clontarf. Well, Mum and Dad live in Clontarf.
Yeah. Whose mum and dad lives in Clontarf?
Sarah's mum and dad. Yeah, Sarah.
Do you know
I'll find out her name. Hang on a second. Let me
find out.
Nick. What's Sarah's second name? Hurley.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then
say hello to Debbie, Nick.
Hi, Debbie.
Hiya.
Yeah.
How are you?
Okay.
We'll have to say hello. We'll have to say hello to your friend in Clontarf.
Oh yeah, Sarah. I forget the name of the road her parents live on, but she lives in Raheny now. But they're from Clontarf. Yeah.
Don't worry.
Hurley.
We'll find out. We'll find out.
I'll find out for you.
Tell me this before I ask you anything else. Where did you meet? You have an Irish wife from Dundalk.
Yeah. In the cafe. In
Oh,
the cafe. She used to come in, so I'd give her little cakes and that.
That's hilarious. Okay, let me give a short intro on who you are, and then I'm going to ask you to tell your story. Okay, we have about 15 minutes.
No problem. Take your time.
So first of all, you have one of the busiest cafes in London. On TripAdvisor, and the first day I saw it, there was queues down the road. I can't remember the last time I saw people queuing continually to get into a cafe.
In the coronavirus epidemic, that's the only time.
and for me, the whole reason the cafe, Pellicci's, obviously in Bethnal Road,
Bethnal Green Road.
Pellicci's, E Pellicci's. My God, when I went in, I mean, I know your family are there, but your personality just is like off the scale in there. Tiny place that you're all wedged into with the best food, but it's not even that. It's really for me, it's the whole personal side of it. It's just amazing. And it's funny, Nev, I said to another French magician I had on the other day that it's karma when good things happen. And he said, really, it's not karma. It's just bloody hard work that makes businesses work. It's not karma.
Yeah.
So tell me, Nev, go back now and just give me the history of Pellicci's, because it is one of the most famous restaurants in the UK, and it's probably my favourite. So tell me, your granddad came from Italy, is that right?
Well, it was my grand and granddad. They come over from Italy, and it would have been it was my great grandparents come over in the late 1800s, and my grandmother was actually born in a little place called Chris Street, which is about 2 miles down the road in London. And when she was about a year old, the great-grandparents took her back to Italy. And she come back as a young lady with my grandfather. They just got married when they were 20 years old. And they come to work in the cafe for a guy in the village down the road from them who owned the cafe. And it was like the poorest of poor areas at the time, Bethnal Green, like real, the East End of London. All the refugees would have been there. All the poor people would have been there. And then they started working for the guy. And after about a year, he went back to Italy. And it's been in our family. It's actually registered. My dad saw it in the library from about 1902. It's registered under my grandparents' name that they owned it. So they must have bought it off of him when he went back to Italy. And it's been in our family ever since. My dad and all my uncles and aunts were all born upstairs in the 20s and in the late teens and 20s of 1900. And it's been a big part of our life forever, like before school, after school, like we would have been in there, had our dinner in there, and we didn't know nothing else. We just grew up, and my dad even more didn't know nothing else. They grew up in 2 rooms above the cafe, 7 children. And you think my mum was a little Italian lady, she couldn't speak hardly any English. My granddad died young of TB and left her with 7 kids and running the cafe. And if you see pictures of the kids when they were little, they were always immaculately dressed and in little suits. And she must have been a real tough woman. Yeah, she must have been a real tough lady to do that.
And
so it's like we're very proud of it.
So I know that your cafe is famous on is it the Cray Brothers tour?
Oh yeah, the Cray twins used to come in all the time, Deb. I don't remember them, but when Mum and Dad, like Mum would have done their breakfast every morning, and my nan knew Oh, and she always said they were gentlemen, and my dad said the same thing. They were like very nice with us. Outside the cafe, they might have did whatever they did, but in the cafe,
they were totally gangsters, weren't they?
Oh, they were real gangsters. Yeah, they were. And
Yeah.
I get them coming now still, Debbie. I get like even worse ones probably coming now. But in the, but in the cafe, they're all. I'm just plugging my phone in on charge. Sorry, Deb.
Okay.
But now I get some even worse ones. But in the cafe, they're always very polite and nice. And like you could come in one day and maybe sit next to one of them, and you wouldn't know. And you'd chat with you and they'd say, "I'll pay for that lady's breakfast," and you wouldn't know. And they'd be like top gangsters. But in the cafe, they'd be very polite and nice. But when they're out.
What I would hope is, after all of this shit that we're all in at the moment, I would hope that we end up with more places like yours and less places like the big chains, because the personality, when you walk in the door of your place, Nev, like it's so unique. It's so different everywhere else, because you just feel like you're in your kitchen. You really do feel like you're in your kitchen. It is driven by your personality.
Well, it's like, and my sister's the same, Debbie. If you see us, and it's like we spent so much time in there, and we grew up in there, and it is like it's like part of our home. So it's like you're coming into our house when you come in there.
Yeah.
So we treat you like this. Yeah, and we treat you like we want you to have a nice time when you come in, and we want to have a joke with you and like make you feel welcome. And especially if you're on your own or something, we'll make even more of a fuss of you. Unless you want us to leave you alone, then we'll leave you alone. But most people like to have a little chat and just pass the time away. So it's nice. It's nice.
Yeah, I imagine on your quiet days, it's the most amazing place for people to go in from a sociable point of view, because you literally make instant friends when you go in the door. And there's instant friendship in the mix, which I just absolutely loved.
I've had some great romances starting there as well.
I bet.
I've got one guy at the minute, James, and there was a young New Zealand girl in, and she just come over. She said, "I'm just over here for a year or something." And she'd literally been in about a week. She said, "I've just come to the area." And I said, "Well, if you need anything and that." And there was a young guy, James, who comes in the cafe. He's a really lovely Welsh boy, and he split up with his missus about 6 months ago. And I knew he's a really nice guy. And I said, "James, do me a favour." I said, "You know the area." I said, "Talk to Marinda." I said, "And tell her maybe some nice places to go, like in the East End and that." And he ended up, he sat on her table, he went, "Yeah, of course," and he's had a chat with her. And they've been together nearly 2 years now.
Well, then there's nobody listening to this. So while we have complete privacy, is there any possibility you can find a gorgeous girl for my son?
Mikey, Debbie, I think Mikey's not telling you a few things, because there's
really?
I think there's a few gorgeous girls that come in and out of that house. You know that, didn't you?
Oh, really? I did not know that. I thought they were all celibate in there.
Michael's a good-looking boy. Don't worry, I bet he's got a few on the go you don't know about, Debbie. He's waiting to find the special one, though. He's probably not telling you until he gets the special one.
He tells us absolutely nothing. We know nothing, Nev.
Of course, they don't. I'm sure that, like, I'm at a great stage at the minute with my kids. They're only 6 and 4, so they tell me everything at the minute.
Keep like that.
I'll try, Debbie.
No, he was so lucky that he actually ended up in a house on your block, because you're all so nice and so welcoming, and it just made me feel so comfortable that he was around people like yourself.
You know, I've never come in for nothing, but they only come in to eat, and I've always said to them, if they need anything, do you know what I mean? Even like if you need any money, or just if you need anything, just a plumber or someone's number or something, just come in. Or if you're worried about something, come in, and if we can help you, we'll help you. Do you know what I mean, Debbie? He's got no worries like that, and he's on a great trip.
Yes, he's there. Now, Nev, just to come back to COVID for a minute, this horrible depressing subject. Obviously, the restaurant is closed, the cafe is closed. Yeah. So tell me this. You know, what do you think? I mean, London is a huge city full of millions of people. You know, it's very hard for social isolation, etc. How do you see us all coming through this? What do you think is ahead for us all?
Oh, Deb, I don't know. You know, I think we will get through it, because I think Londoners and most like the Irish and that, they're tough people. Like in Italy, I've got all my cousins out there. And but I think it's going to have a big effect on everything, on the economy, on little businesses, like you were saying, Deb. I think they're going to really struggle. Like, we're lucky we've been there so long, but I'm in touch with we belong to a thing called the East End Trades Guild, which is a great. We're one of the founder members, and it like helps little local businesses fight against rents and stuff like that. high rents and property prices. And Deb, I've been speaking to the boss there, Chrissy, and she's really worried about it for a lot of people. Like, if they're going to get their money in time. Like, we've got 4 girls work with us, and like, we've had to keep paying them. So hopefully we've applied for a grant, and that should be coming through soon. But like, we need the money to keep going. Like, we're lucky we haven't got. But a lot of places have still got to pay their rent, and they've still got to pay their staff and lots of other things. So we're pretty lucky in that aspect that we've only got we haven't got no rent to pay, because otherwise we would be in a lot of trouble. But I think like Londoners are really tough, and like the Irish are so tough. I think it might take a little while, but I think everyone will get back to, hopefully, I don't know about normal, but it will get back to working again, Debs. I don't know how long it will take to get back to normal.
I don't know either. And also our deepest commiserations from everybody for Italy, because obviously everybody just loves Italy. I mean, it's one of those countries that everybody loves Italians, and everybody loves, it's such a beautiful country, and you've had such devastation there.
Oh, Debbie, I've been speaking to my cousins out there, and it's so terrible. Even like up in the villages and that, it's so much devastation going on. Like, everyone knows someone that's been affected by it. Like, especially, like what the small towns and villages are like up in Italy there. Everyone sort of knows someone or related to somebody, and it's so sad. Like, my cousins on the WhatsApp keep saying, "Oh, so and so's passed," or "So and so's in hospital," or "This shop's shut," and it's just, that's what you keep hearing. It's so sad, Debbie. And it was in trouble anyway, Italy, with the economy.
Yes.
I don't know what it's going to be like after this, because the tourism, and that's really good, which is their main thing, is going to really suffer out there. So I don't know how to. Oh, Debbie, one thing.
I think the whole world is going to tune into Italy on Sunday evening. Andrea Bocelli's doing a concert, a worldwide concert.
Oh, I love Bocelli.
Yeah, he's doing it from Milan Cathedral, and I'd say it'll be emotional and magnificent, but we'll all tune in, because I mean, we all need to be holding hands across the globe really at the moment. I mean, we really do.
Everyone needs to just, hopefully this will make the whole world come together.
Yes, exactly.
I think it will do. I hope so. I really do hope it does.
I just hope, Nev, that we get back to a world where there's just less massive chains and more people with businesses like yours that are just like absolutely, it's my favorite place to sit and eat.
Oh,
and I hope we get back to places like more places like yours, and less of this massive, somebody that has 40 restaurants and 60 restaurants that are opening and closing like I don't know what. It's too big. It's too like, you go into cities all over the world and it's exactly the same restaurants.
Yeah, but you know what we got offered? We got offered that by a big chain called Patisserie Valerie over here, and they actually come to us and said, "Oh, we'd love to make a chain of your cafes," and we were like, "No, we don't want to do it."
Yeah, you're dead right.
Yeah, no, we didn't want to do it, and you think, Debs, there's more important, especially this. I think coronavirus has brought to light. There's more important things to life than money. Like, we're lucky we don't need, like, if you're really bad, but like there's like as long as you've got your health and you've got your family and everyone's safe, like, so many people are suffering, like losing people and that. There's more important things to life than having a big chain. Do you know what I mean? We're happy with our little cafe, and we do okay with that, and
don't want to be. You're one of the top cafes on TripAdvisor for London.
Yeah, and we don't do no advertising or nothing there. That's all just been given to us. Like, people writing reviews. Hard work. That's it. Especially my mum and dad. We've got it pretty easy compared to them. Like, I'll get up about 5:30 in the morning now, Deb. Like, when my dad was there, we used to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Like, I've slowed it down a little bit now, but Mum and Dad put the real hard work in there. They put the real hard hours in there.
And even them on Instagram, your mum in the kitchen there and everything, it's just fabulous. The whole thing is spirit of business that I hope we can see more and more businesses like yours in the future. That's
thanks, Debbie. Well, I'm glad you like it. I mean, you'll be guest of honour when you come over now. We'll give you a special treatment when you come in.
And don't forget, between you and me and nobody else, you have to find Mikey a girl, preferably an Irish girl. I want him to come home.
Irish or Italian, yeah. I'll get you a nice Irish.
I could go with Italian, Italian or Irish. There's your
the Irish are the best. That's why I married one of the Irish girls. The Irish girls are the best. Deb, you know what? My cousin in Italy, she's adopted 2 little Russian children.
Really? From where, I wonder?
I'm not sure. They're from an orphanage. They've been in Italy now for, about 10 years ago she adopted them.
Oh my God. We don't do adoption as an organisation, but I have children from our orphanage that went to live in Italy, and they're all over my Facebook because we talk to them all the time. Some of them actually have really lost their English. They're speaking fluent Italian. That's gas. But they'll see this actually. But quite a lot of Russian children did go to Italy because Italians were very kind to children in orphanages and did adopt quite a lot of them.
Yeah, but they went out here. They said it was so sad, Debbie. Like some of the places you went in to see these children, and they're only going to get one. They took two in the end. They took two brothers, Danny and Dennis, and they're like 16 and 15 now, and they're like thriving out.
Yeah, I'm there 21 years. We used to have an organisation called To Russia with Love, and now we're To Children with Love. But we've been in Russia for 21 years, and it's just been an amazing 21 years. Mikey was there at one stage with a basketball camp, and Sophie, my daughter, went to live there at one point. But like it's a beautiful country.
It's a great thing doing, Debs.
Yeah, well, the children are amazing. The children are absolutely amazing. So yeah, we're very proud of them, and we're like one big family. That was nearly a mistake we made of the organisation, that we got very heavily involved at an early stage, and we really grew an enormous family, which we're very proud of, to be honest. And we had fantastic. But anyway, I can't chat all day because we won't be able to post this. It'll be too long. So I want to congratulate you on Pellicci's. It's my dream that we see more Pellicci's all over, like places like yours. I don't mean more of your place, but places like yours. Yeah. You're amazing, Nev. Your whole family are fabulous, and I'm thrilled that Mikey lives near you.
Thanks, Debbie, very much. Thank you, Debbie.
Debbie,
would you want our